You know.
Yep. And that's the thing is like, with that, people don't want to they don't want to acknowledge that part. And I've, had these conversations and debates with these abos for so long. We have on this whole idea that we have people are always saying like my great great grandmother or whoever, they had long straight black hair and all of this kind of stuff, right? Now, what I find interesting about that is, okay, so your great great grandmother or whatever, who you saying makes you Indian and she was Indian or whatever, she had long straight black hair, but why your hair ain't like that?
Right.
So where did the kinks in your hair come from then? If it's so that your people are Native American, indigenous, whatever, aboriginal to this land, and that a lot of the depictions we see of Native Americans, they have long, straight, dark hair, why isn't your hair like that?
I didn't even go into sickle cell anemia.
Yeah.
Right. That's something that you can't reclassify. You either got the trait, the full-blown trait, or you got part of it. That only exists in our people. If we the same people, why don't Native Americans have sickle cell anemia? I didn't even go into that.
Yep. And then yeah, I mean, it's so many elements to it, but what they try to do is they'll try to, just discredit anything. They never debunk anything, so they try to discredit it. So that's when they'll go into the whole DNA thing. DNA is a hoax. The genetics, they can't trace this back and they can't trace that back and all of this kind of stuff. They start coming for science and all of that. So they just, try to discredit a lot of the science that's used to substantiate us being of African descent. A lot of the science used to substantiate that no, we are not Native Americans or indigenous to this land. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's all kind of genetics.
Yeah, I hope I wasn't too long, right? At the end of the day, I just tried to make sure that it would like the stuff that I'm debunking today, because they make a lot of claims. Robert E. Lee is black, and black folks was the main slave holders. Oh man, like to try to dispel all of that in a scholarly presentation is difficult, because a lot of it is red herrings. But man, I see Alquan that came through, man. I'm waiting for the pushback, brother. Go ahead and send out the smoke signal to the abos so we can get it.
Oh wait, and let me say this one thing before you go, Alquan. Because I looked up genetic conditions, because you present a good point about like sickle cell and things like that. And so it's Native American myopathy, known as NAM, is a genetic disease as well as a genetic disorder caused by a unique gene mutation that almost exclusively affects American Indians. Myopathy is the general term that oversees both a large and diverse group of diseases that can all be defined as a muscle disease. So this is something specific. It's a specific muscle disease to Native Americans, and it's almost exclusive to American Indians. But I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going down, family?
Yeah, man, Brother Rob. Yeah, that was a nice presentation, nice subjective and heavily biased presentation.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir. I noticed that when you were going over the pictures of the what you were doubting were black Indians, I noticed there was a little girl with unquestionably frizzy hair and clearly black. I noticed how you flipped over that one.
Monopapo little girl.
Okay, yeah, you went over that. You only showed her for like 2-3 seconds. Then you like, oh hell, I can't show that again.
Nah, brother. Nah, brother. She was just having a good hair day. That's all that was.
Yeah, in other words, she was looking black. That's what it was, right? You said nah.
But what's up? What's your major pushback with the presentation?
Well, obviously it's biased. It's unfounded, especially when people start mentioning the Clotilde, of course, which is nothing but a bunch of pieces of wood. That doesn't prove anything. But here's the thing, and you stick to the usual white man excuses for the history that he made up, such as the natives died off with disease and war. But you see, here's the thing, but you also insist that the natives are the Mongol Asian style. But yet, if disease killed them off, then how come Mexicans are now being distributed throughout the entire United States to work? That's a question.
Yeah, you have to take into account, we talking about first contact is 1492, and so if you fast forward, that's hundreds of years of immune immune response to those diseases, and then
I thought they got killed off though, so they're gonna have an immune response.
Well, all right, show me the Inca, where they at?
No, we talking about the United States.
All right. Show me the Arawak. Where they at?
No, you show me. You said that they got killed, but the Mexicans are here.
No. What I said was specifically some historians, right? And then I gave some numbers, but we don't know specifically. You know
so that
what I
means
mean?
we don't know at all.
Okay, bro. All right, so to say that no Native Americans died of disease would be not true, right? Obviously,
people all over the earth
died
of a disease.
Not all over the earth. Not all over the earth. To say that Native Americans, after first contact with Europeans, didn't die of disease in large numbers would not be true.
Actually, we don't know that for sure, truth be told.
Oh man, brother, that's rough.
Because if that happened, then the question is,
that's rough, bro.
Because people's perception of what the native looks like is the Mexican style types, Mongol types.
We have first-hand accounts from Bartholomew de las Casas, from Pizarro, Cortez, how they used those germs to kill the people, man. You know that, right?
Again, if those people were killed, and that's why they supposedly took blacker people to work, then the question is, why are the Mexicans able to work now?
Your point is made, right? But, at the end of the day, right, we know for a fact that a lot of those people did die of disease.
But we don't know that for a fact, though.
When the last time you seen a Native American?
When I looked in the mirror.
And what will present that as fact for you, Alquan? Because you're gonna say we don't know that as fact. You'll say that about anything. So what will make something factual to you?
Well, we gotta see
what's your criteria? See the evidence in what way? Because wait a minute, I just want to point this out. I just want to point this out though. When you mentioned the Clotilde, you said that wasn't nothing but some wood.
Right. That's exactly
but that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. When there is proof or evidence brought to you, again, there I go. Like, you don't debunk it, you discredit it.
Well,
so you just say you don't like offer anything to disprove it. You just say, oh well, no, that's just some wood, pieces of wood.
Well, I mean, you're not presenting me a ship, let alone a slave ship, so you can't tell me that this is...
But y'all always ask. You've had that conversation with me before where you said, where is the slave ships?
Right.
You said that, Alquan.
And nobody's...
And now when somebody presented to you where they actually diving exhibitions and things like that to piece together the history and the proof of that, you won't accept that. You say it's just pieces of wood.
Right. I need to see an intact slave ship.
Okay, so then nothing can be proven to you. Listen, if first of all, there were no slave ships, right? There were cargo ships. Slaves were considered as cargo as well. Okay, so these people were placed on these ships as well. So there is no like singularly like distinctive slave ships because they use those ships for multitude of reasons. And then there's like, what ships are you going to really have in existence?
Look this up.
If the transatlantic slave trade, at least the importation of Africans was stopped in the mid 1800s or earlier, a little bit earlier on in the 1800s. So why would there be intact boats? And I've told you this before, and I'm gonna let you respond. But when a boat is out of like these types of ships, they only last for so long, especially during that time, right? So once those ships are out of commission, those cargo ships, they're sent to shipyards. They're broken down for the materials. Those materials are then repurposed. So how would there be these ships that are intact? This particular ship sank.
Well,
so
Renee,
that's
how long you been in the Navy?
What?
How long you been in the Navy?
What is that? Come on.
Don't they make ships in the Navy out of metal, man? Hey, listen, man, you heard the presentation, bro. And I showed you a ship that was 55 years old, man.
Man, let me.
You to ask for an intact slave ship.
Now listen. Let me explain.
And you seen the damage after 55 years. A ship made out of wood, right?
Like I said, in my video, right? but in my videos, I always show 5,000-year-old ancient Egyptian ships that's still intact, Viking ships still intact, pirate ships still intact. Come on. Replicas of European ships from the colonial period still intact.
Bruh. Those ships were made out of one piece of wood, and they were not as
no, they weren't.
And then it's in an arid environment. So
they weren't made out of one piece of wood.
Apples to apples. Bro.
No, that's what I'm doing. Those ships weren't made out of one piece of wood. That would be a carving or a canoe. Those were actually meticulously designed. Matter of fact, look up Australian prison ship. There's pictures of that inside and out. See, that's what I expect to see. That's from 1850.
Yeah, but
hold up. But that was specifically designed to house people against their will and take them from place to place overseas. Where is something like that? So you can't say a slave ship was a general cargo ship when they had specific ships to house people against their. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen.
Why is because
listen, I'm telling you. Listen, I'm giving you specifics.
You're making inferences.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you something specific that you can actually look at.
So unless you have a primary source, right, that says that we never had no slave ship. Unless you got a primary source that say that, then you can't make your argument either.
Well, I just did, because you can look up.
No, you said your argument. You can't make it. That's not.
No. You can go look up Australian prison ship 1850. You will find it. You will see that it's built to house people against their will on seas. So that's from 1850. The point is, you see the pictures, and that's 1850. And that's Australia, way out in the middle of nowhere.
So you want to see a slave ship? Okay, bro. So I bet we won't be able to provide a intact
or halfway
intact slave ship for you in this argument. We'll just have to agree. We'll come back to that. Table that for another time.
We can't table that because you can't show it, so that I'll never come back to that.
Nah, bro.
I'm looking up what you said, Alquan, because if it's one thing we know, and me and Alquan go way back, so that's my bro. But I don't trust anything Abo say. I I don't trust anything. Anything y'all say, I have to look it up, and I have to do my due diligence. So you said Australian prison ships, and what else?
From 1850.
And then you said something else. Was that it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
They will and all that.
Yeah. Because it's
all right. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be back.
So you had a problem with the slave ship thing.
In other words,
you have a problem with, bro.
So in other words, those ships, they have chains, individual cells, everything on there. So that's what we expect to see.
What else you have a problem with, bro?
The Elmina military forts.
Elmina Castle.
Yeah, the military forts.
For real?
I have.
Let me hear this. I want to hear this.
I have schooled Dr. Ma'at. I have schooled many people. D. Durrell, live on air. I have shown the evidence. You even showed the evidence when you showed the pictures that they weren't slave dungeons or slave castles. They were military forts because you saw the cannons right on the thing. And you can see you can't find any place within.
Wait. Pause. Oh, my fault. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and when you look on the inside, you can't find any place where people were housed against their will.
So, if you open a tab on your computer, right, and you type in Elmina Castle, right?
Okay.
What you gonna see is that it was a walkway, right, between where they were housing the women directly to the, captain's, quarters, right? And then you clearly see the ports there. You got detailed records from both sides of the pond, saying, if you will. The people of Ghana have wrote about, the slave trade that went on there. And then we got,
What language did the people of Ghana write in?
Man, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
No, I just can't think of her name, but she a historian from Ghana, and
a recent person or somebody from way hundreds of years ago.
Nah. This was 2015.
Oh, she's invalid then.
What you mean?
She's invalid.
Wait a minute. Pause. Why would you say that she's invalid?
Because Africans, they get their history from the white man. That's why.
You don't realize that Africans go to school like all over the world. There
you go, right there. You said it yourself.
Wait a minute. I didn't get a chance to finish my statement. They go to school in America. They go to school in Canada. They go to school in London, and they all getting taught the white man's history. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, what else are they teaching in these schools?
I mean, how many schools have you attended, bro?
2.
And in those schools, they didn't teach you about the same thing that this lady was talking about, transatlantic slave trade, and how it started in West Africa and all.
And they did, and then when you have questions about it, they say, "Well, we don't have time." How is this possible?
Why did possible?
The transatlantic slave trade? Why did they do it? Why did they choose black people?
I kind of broke that down a little bit.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about as far as in a classroom setting, college setting. Then when you ask these questions, it's like, well, we have a whole lot of people we have to get through, and we can't just delve into each one.
I'm sorry that you really didn't have any good professors then. Yeah. Because they should have covered it with you in detail. I mean, if you had been in my class, I would have definitely taught you. What I'm saying? And that way you would have known. But yeah, the transatlantic slave trade definitely happened. Are you just like overlooking Equiano, Alaudu Equiano?
Well, before we even move on, let's stick to that Elmina Castle fort.
Yeah.
Okay,
because you talked about a walkway. See, that's the images they put, like, and what's that movie? Amistad and some other movies, Roots. They make it seem like, oh man, they put slaves in these places and then they have them walk the plank to get on a boat.
Nah, it was like I showed the door. It was called a door of no return.
And that's a lie. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See,
how do you substantiate that?
Because if it's a place used to have, number one, it's a military fort. That's number one.
All right, and you're saying by it being a military fort, right, that they couldn't get human cargo, put them on some boats, take them out to a larger cargo ship, and then sail over. You saying that's impossible?
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying black master teachers.
Why you don't never say yes or no, bro?
Because I got to answer in my way. That's why. Now these people say, well, let me just say this. These people say, the black master teachers say that these places were built as a hub for slaves. But see, they were military force. They weren't built for slavery. That's the thing that these people don't tell you. You can see if
why was the Portuguese down there?
If you forget leave out narration, just examine the pictures for yourself. You can see that as a fort.
I'm saying, why was the Portuguese? So Portugal was one place. Why was they in West Africa?
Because Islam still had a hold on the Mediterranean.
No.
Hold on, listen. You asked me a question. You got to hear the answer, and then if you don't like it, you can correct. Now, Islam still had a hold on the Mediterranean. The Portuguese were the first ones to break free out of Europe. That's the only place they can go. That's why they went to West Africa. That's my answer.
Before we get too far away from it, can I address what I said I was going to look up?
Okay.
Based on what you said, Alcon. Okay, so let's get into it, right? And this is why I said I don't believe anything I both said. So on Wikipedia, looked up. Well, I researched convict ship,
and then
under it's some drawings of it.
No, there's actual pictures.
Oh, okay. But let me just tell you what it says first. Okay. So convict ship. A convict ship was any ship engaged on a voyage to carry convicted felons under sentence of penal transportation from their place of conviction to their place of exile, right? So the description: a convict ship, as used to convey convicts to the British colonies in America, the Caribbean, and Australian colonies, were ordinary British merchant ships as seen in ports around the world at that time. There was no ship specifically built as a convict vessel. There was no ship engaged exclusively for convict transportation use, all being used for general cargo or passenger transport at various times. Vessels chartered for convict transport were mainly square-rigged ships or is it barcades? I don't know. With the exception of a few brigs, the majority being small to moderate tonnage. The fees paid to the ship owners were so low that only the worst and most decrepit ships were utilized. English parliamentary records indicate that the average rate paid to the government to hire a ship for convict service in 1816 was like £6 or something, a vessel ton or something. Okay, so it says right there, and they give their hold on, let me finish. Hold on. They give all of their sources to this information. A lot of this information came directly from like Australian historical societies with this information and all of these things. So I just want to repeat that one part again. There was a convict ship as used to convey convicts to the British colonies in America, the Caribbean, and Australian colonies were ordinary British merchant ships. There was no ship specifically built as a convict vessel. There were no ships engaged exclusively for convict transport use, all being used for general cargo or passenger transport at various times. Thank you. So you were false. You talked about how they had these specific boats in such and such time and everything like that. And I think the last convict boat to Australia, I think it said 1868 or something like that. But you were saying these were special boat. No.
Well, I am waiting.
The most the history of Britain and Australia says no. There were not these were regular merchant ships.
What's this right
These
here?
were not specific vessels. Like, what are you saying?
What's this right here?
I don't know what is it. I'm giving you the but outline.
I'm showing you.
That picture could be from anything, anywhere. I'm giving you the direct information from the direct people. Why is Australians?
That pickup. I don't even know that's a boat.
Yeah, who knows? And I'll look into that.
There's no need to argue. Here we go. Melbourne. That's in Australia's forgotten convict history. The horror of the hulks of the Hobson's Bay. Here it is. Prison ship. As you can see, the prison hulks assess one of a number of makeshift jails moored off Point Gillibrand.
Makeshift. Did that say makeshift? No. Wait, let's stop before we can continue. You said makeshift. When something is makeshift, that means we just gonna put these people here right now. We do what we got to do to get them there, right? You said these ships were specifically built. Right? To be prison ship. That's not makeshift. That's not makeshift. That supports what's saying that these were regular merchant ships.
Now, Renee, we can talk.
Also were used to transport convicts.
We can talk, but it's better to show. See, I'm showing. Here it is. You can see each.
Put that link back here. Put that link back here, please.
What pic is that?
As you can see, this is the interior. Oh, let me just put the link in the back.
Show the link. Put the link to what that is. Is that the captain's quarters? What is that? I don't know.
That's the spot.
What spot?
This is the interior. You see each door right here. But listen. You see each door, numbered prisoners, cells. You see the locks.
Okay. Link. Now source it up real quick. About these forts. I want to discuss these forts real quick that you keep pressing about, talking about these military forts. You do realize they used to build these forts, right? Not just the Portuguese or whatever. They would build these forts, and after they was done with these forts, they would turn these things into prisons, right? You know, that's where they got the whole idea for Alcatraz from, right? It's from from these old forts that they turned into prisons. France has one. I can show you. I can source up on that. France actually has one that they turned into a prison. That's actually the actual fort that they did get the idea to build Alcatraz off of. And same thing is no different with those slave ports. Those things was built as potentially as military, and then afterwards, when they was done, they turned them into slave ports. That's what they did.
Okay, well, they didn't remove the cannons.
This is common practice, too. This was common practice. It wasn't something strange.
Okay, but they didn't remove the cannons, and they didn't remove the ammunition. So they were still operating as slave forts.
What's the purpose of removing the cannons?
Well, I mean, if you're going to use them for something else.
What's the purpose of removing them?
If you're going to use them for holding slaves.
What if the military needs it again?
But here's the key thing. You mentioned Alcatraz, but you can look at Alcatraz and you can see that it was designed to house people against their will.
Yeah, Alcatraz was. Right. This was built in these forts and stuff.
Well, you brought up Alcatraz, so that's why I'm mentioning.
Wait. These forts and stuff was built in the 1500s. Alcatraz, they had the idea to build Alcatraz because of these old forts.
The idea. Okay.
They didn't build Alcatraz to be a fort. They built Alcatraz specifically to be a prison, but that was not what the other forts did. They did not build those to be prisons. They turned them into prisons.
Okay, well, check this out. If you could show me in these other forts places to house people and hold them against their will, because you can't tell me that you bring in hundreds of people and put them in one room.
How did France do it?
Well,
France, I just told you, France got a whole fort out here that they turned into a prison. That used to be a fort.
Out where?
Well, I can't pronounce this shit. The Chateau.
I mean, where at?
France, Allen Prison or whatever.
No,
I'll drop the link in the chat.
No, I'm saying what country? What land are we talking about?
What happened?
I mean, where is this place at?
What you talking about where it's at? It's on the outskirts of France.
Okay, well, we're not talking about France. We're talking about Africa.
No. You just said no. Stop. Stop. You just said that these motherfuckers. Why would they do this? That you made it seem like these motherfuckers was lying and everything else. Like they just did this out here in Africa. No, they did this everywhere. They did this everywhere. What are you talking about? When these forts, when they wars and stuff is over, they turn these forts into something that they can actually use. Like
okay, that's nice and everything, but let's talk about these African so-called slave ports. That's what we need to show.
Yeah, well, I just told you they turned it.
No.
Port.
But where's the evidence?
What do you mean? Where's the evidence? He just gave you he just laid out all the evidence. You denying all of it.
No, I'm not. I need to see it. Where is it in those slave ports that you call the slave ports, where they show that?
What are you talking about?
Hold on. Listen, you got to listen.
They got whole slave prisons down there.
Listen. They got videos.
Why you ask a question? You not let me answer?
Because you're not letting me clarify.
Because you keep trying to put caveats on it. Why you keep
trying to put caveats? I'm trying to put specifics on it. Specifics are I need to see where these people were held against their will, were chains or anything to show that people were held against their will, not just some walkthroughs.
What do you think so you think they were just chilling up in those cells, chilling and like the cells were open and they was just free to just walk around and do whatever the fuck they wanted to do?
See, you say
what the fuck you think they was there for?
But see, you just said you used the word cells. Show the cells.
What?
You just used the word cells. Show me the cells.
Yeah, they were cells there. What you talking about? They had pictures of the cells. What you
mean? Where? Because I haven't seen them. Maybe you can. Here's a chance to set me straight tonight. Show me these cells. That ain't bullshit. You said they had the pictures. You can educate me tonight. If I'm properly educated, I would change.
Are you familiar with the Congolese king that told the Portuguese king, "Hey, don't send nothing else. Y'all done depopulated our country. You know what I'm saying? Taking slaves. You not familiar with it?"
Yeah, we don't have nothing to do with the Congo.
Yeah, the reason why I bring them up is because, like I told you, they built 36 fortifications all up and down the Ghana River, right? Right?
Okay.
And they started out with trading, right? And then as they built into the interior, they was bringing slaves out of the interior into those fortifications.
Okay.
And so if I go ahead and go and find this quote, you will hear the Congolese king tell them, "Hey, listen, G, we don't need nothing from y'all. Nothing." You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna show, that they was taking slaves out of the interior of Africa.
Okay, that sounds good, but see, since these forts still exist, the best thing to do is to show me the slave quarters. There's tons of video, tons of pictures.
The slave quarters.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why you need to see that. What is the?
What do you mean? How come you mean you don't understand? Because
I'm telling you the purpose.
The Illuminati. That's why.
No.
I'm telling you the purpose.
Seeing is believing.
Listen. They hundreds of miles away from
you saw this already.
I don't like being told. I don't like being told. I like being shown.
You ain't been told nothing. You saw this shit. I don't know how you ain't see it, but I just pulled it up this fast.
That's why I need to see it.
I just pulled this shit up this fast, and somehow or another you never saw it, and this is your shit.
Well, if you saw it complete, like I said.
All day, every day. I don't know how you don't see these.
Like I said, tonight is the.
I don't know how you don't see. You. I mean, it's that simple, bro.
I tell you what's even simpler is just show me the picture.
I am showing you the picture.
I don't see anything. Well, hold on.
Look at the YouTube. I'm showing everybody else too, because I don't want I want to make sure everybody see this shit.
Okay, good.
They can go look it up their goddamn self.
Now that's a place to store ammunition. You see those that little window on the side? That's where they slide shit in. That's not. You think a slave
inside is where they slide what in?
Ammunition and stuff.
Show me.
You see it?
Wait, show me.
You see it right there on the right.
Prove, show me. Show me where they slide stuff at it. Where the slots at?
Don't you see it? Don't you see it?
What kind of ammunition they put there? What?
balls.
What?
Look at the place. Do you
What?
think?
What?
Hold
You're
on, listen.
freestyling.
Okay, listen. Constantly talking over me. That's not.
Now it's time for you to source up. Now it's time for you to source up. You asked me to show you the prison cell. I just showed you. You said yes. You said no. That's some other shit because that's where the wait. I'm talking. You just said that's some other shit because they putting ammo and shit like that on the.
Yeah.
Prove it. Prove what they show. Show me what ammo how they did the ammo. Show me. Show me the pictures of them doing the ammo. Show me the pictures of them putting ammo in or out of that.
Okay. Now we need time machine now, right? Come on.
Ain't that what you asking us to do?
No, so you can see it right here.
So you can demand us to be king.
No, I'm on you. You right on the picture.
You can demand for us to be king the conqueror, but when it's time for you to be motherfucking Sarah Connor, you want to back up. Stop playing with me, dog.
Okay, check this out.
You need to go in the time machine.
Discussion, not argument. We're having a discussion, not an argument. But check it out. Now those doors. If imagine there are a whole bunch of slaves filling that room up. You think those slaves couldn't break down those doors?
What doors?
Oh, now you can't see doors.
Right
yeah,
those doors right there. You said they could break them down.
I'm saying you
think
break
that door down?
I said. Listen. I said if that room was filled up with slaves.
If I locked you into that motherfucking shit, you think you could break your way out of it?
With 100 other people, yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not designed.
100 people in there. Prove it was 100 people in there.
You proved there was one.
Prove there was 100 people in there.
Prove there was one.
Prove there's you're the denier. No. Don't ask me to prove
no,
shit.
You said I should prove
you're the one saying all this is bunk. So prove it.
You're the one saying
you're the one saying all this is bunk. So prove it. I'm
you're not trying to listen. You're not trying to listen.
Burden of proof's on you. No, burden of proof's on you.
You're not trying to listen.
There was 100 motherfuckers up there.
How can I prove why you keep talking?
Prove there was 100 people up there.
Look at the size. If there were people there, it would be at least 100.
There'll be at least 100.
If there were people there, but obviously that's not designed. That's not designed to house people. That's designed to house ammo and supplies.
The house ammo and supplies. And once it wasn't a fort, what did they do?
Somebody got echo.
Once that wasn't a military fort anymore, what did they do with that place that they hide the ammo and supplies?
I don't see any evidence that
once it wasn't a fort anymore, Alquan. What was they doing with that spot where they was hiding the ammo?
Well, obviously they turned it into a museum.
Oh, they turned it into a museum.
Right.
Got it.
Am I lying?
Got it. They turned it into a museum.
Yeah, you see it. A tourist attraction. That's what it is.
They turned that shit no goddamn tourist attraction.
How do we know about it then?
Stop playing with me, son. Play a game.
See, you should know that you can't deal with this, man. You should know that. Man,
you freestyling like a motherfucker, dog.
Freestyling with the truth. But I already just proved that.
Stop saying you ain't never seen no damn prison cells. You keep saying that, and I keep showing it to you, and you keep saying.
Where is it at?
Say you ain't
all right, bro.
I didn't see it in that picture.
Hey, all right, bro. Hey, what about is it anything else? Because like you won't admit that the Portuguese built those fortifications.
I didn't say that they didn't.
You won't admit that they built them for the transportation of slaves. It was the Dutch and the Portuguese that used Elamina Castle.
Didn't you say earlier that they built them for trade first?
That they initially, the spot where Elamina Castle is where they used to trade with the natives, and it wasn't even face to face. They would take their trinkets, they'd sit them on the beach. The natives would come out, they'll leave some gold.
What kind of trade is that?
You got to get familiar with John G. Jackson.
No. Yeah, I heard of him. Yeah,
and John G. Jackson literally describes it in great detail, and he got it directly from the griots. Directly, so it ain't no. It's
a whole bunch of hearsay from guys that weren't even alive.
Now, to say that a griot is hearsay that's disrespectful. If you know what a griot is.
Well, hey man, that's hearsay, man. That's what it is.
No, that's disrespectful.
Well, it can be disrespectful, but that's what it is.
when somebody is born, bro. When somebody is born, right? They're determined to be a griot. And then they are being taught from the time that they born. So to say that there's hearsay is disrespectful. Maybe you don't know that.
Well, I guess I'm being disrespectful, but it's hearsay.
It's
hearsay.
And boom. That's why I use all primary sources. That's why I use them, or common knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you didn't really, you weren't trying to give equal time to each argument. You were just trying to show a little bit of trying to prove that your case was proven. But whatever the case was, when you use one word, you use one word that discredited everything you showed.
What's that?
You said these natives look black, maybe. Once you said that, it's all over.
I was being sarcastic. Peter Martre described.
Hold on, I got
what was his name? Winnipeg Jack to a T, fam. And that was 300 years later. You can't deny that. That's why I use primary sources for that reason. For people who come and deny it, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't deny a primary source. Why would Peter Martre say it?
Yeah, but once you say maybe and cause doubt in your own presentation, it's invalid.
Hey, bro, it was doubt again, and that's why I put the quote at the end, right? You tend to believe you see reality for what it is. The truth is, you see reality how you are, bro.
Right. And what you saw, you showed a bunch of pictures of clearly black Indians, and you try to tell us that they weren't.
The whole point of me showing the pictures was to at least give credence to your claim. But then I went ahead and eviscerated it with the words of Sarah Wilson, who was a freedman.
One person.
God, man, bro. Do you realize that I could have, man, I got the narratives of the freedmen. You heard me?
Okay.
I was speaking for 90 minutes, dog.
Yeah, but you invalidated your own presentation. Bruh, now let me ask you this.
It is invalidated to you.
No, it's because of what you said.
You want to hold on to a claim that cannot be substantiated with primary sources. It cannot be.
But see, if the white man is a liar,
it's not a but see. Where are your primary sources now?
Okay, is the white man a liar? Let's answer that question.
All right. Hey, bro. Where is your primary?
See, you try. See, they like to avoid answering certain questions.
No, because see, you keep trying to take me down the rabbit hole.
No, there's no rabbit hole. It's a simple question.
I'm tired. I don't feel like it.
You just got you. You alert.
Do you have any documents?
I just showed pictures and
you showed a picture of a boat in Australia.
Right.
Do you have any documents that can substantiate a claim that you're Aboriginal?
Do you have any documents that can substantiate that we came from Africa? Because Tariq Nasheed even said, "Oh, we're from Nigeria, we from Ghana." I'm like, okay, if it's that easy, where's the evidence at?
I literally went through all of the people, like not all of the people, but some substantial people in history that knew where they was from and all of that. And so you just sitting here playing games, fam. Do you have any evidence?
I'm not playing games. It's like when you show what you showed.
Do you have any evidence?
So listen. I'm tearing your thing apart. That's the evidence. Like when you showed those pictures.
It's not that. That's not evidence.
Yes, it is.
You're not debating me.
Yeah, it's not a debate.
You're not tearing up anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not tearing it up. I'm analyzing it.
What about Bartholomew de las Casas? What about him? Can I ask you some questions? Is that cool?
No, you're the man with the presentation, so I got to ask you the questions.
I want to ask you some questions.
No, I'm not the one on trial.
What do you think about Bartholomew de las Casas?
But hold up, before we go there, I was trying to.
Why do we need to wait?
Because I'm talking about what, bro? Because I'm talking about listen, because I'm talking about your presentation. That's why I want you keep talking, because I'm trying to ask the question. When you showed the picture of what you claim were Mayan women, you said they don't look black to me. I'm like, what? They look black to me.
I said that they got red skin, and that my grandma don't get red skin like that. Now, if your grandma, my fault. I was trying to wait for you to stop talking. Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Because you also said something about the lips. You said their lips aren't big. I'm like, man, those aren't big lips. I don't know what the hell big lips are then.
I didn't say that.
Okay, maybe somebody in the chat said it. Go ahead. But they have black features. You gotta understand it was mixing going on as well. That's why
I admitted that it was mixing going on, and then I literally had a reference to your claim, right? But he didn't substantiate it to the way that y'all claim that y'all were already here, and you know the slave trade didn't happen and all of that.
But you gotta keep in mind the mixing is between what you want to call African style natives and Mongol style natives. Put them together, that's where you get the red.
So it is an African style native.
I said African style. I didn't say African.
Yeah.
I said African style.
Okay. All right. Let's build on that. What is the source of an African style native? Where did they come from?
They came from the earth.
So do trees, bro. Trees come from the earth too.
All right, so why ask the question then?
Where did the African style natives in North and South America, the Caribbean, where did they come from?
Well, I mean, that's the question of life. Where do we come from?
All science points to, right? A spot in Ethiopia, all mankind.
You say science, what does that mean?
It don't matter what you think. It don't matter what I think per se, right?
When you say something,
wait a minute, brother. You hear me talking? Yeah. All life started in Africa. It did.
Okay.
Homo sapiens walked up out of Africa, bro. Man, that is common knowledge now.
Well, I mean, it's not really scientifically proven. That's just what is generally accepted as of now.
It is not scientifically proven to you. You're not. You're not a biologist. You're not an anthropologist. You're a man with an opinion.
Right, like we all have one.
So when you start looking at scientists in that field, they say the same thing I'm saying. You're saying what they're saying. Until you have some scientists that go against it, I'm willing to.
I'm sure there are a whole bunch.
Show me your evidence. Show me the document. Show it to me.
What are these mosquitoes? Mixed with?
What do you mean?
Then you say these Mongol are they mixed? You said they was mixed.
Yeah, the darker Mongol style natives. Those are mixtures of the black and the Mongol. Because the original Mongol from the artifact shows that they were more Asian-like.
How did they get here?
Well, according to the white man, they came here from Asia.
So you don't dispute that. So you don't dispute the Barren Land Bridge and all that.
Well, I mean, you see the look of the people. That kind of coincides with that.
Okay. So how did black people get here?
Well, they were here.
How did they get here?
Okay, well, let's do it like this. You want to do it like that? How they get in Africa?
No, don't answer my question with a question. Don't answer my question. I asked you a direct question. How did black people get here? Man. You just told me how the Mongols got here. Now tell me how we got here.
Okay, according to the white man, they got here 50,000 years ago.
No.
From Australia. From Australia.
We got here from Australia.
At least that's the theory.
No. This is your theory, all right?
No, it ain't my theory. I didn't come up with it.
No, who came up with this theory?
The Portuguese, the Brazilian. Came up with this? Some Brazilian scientists in the country.
Who?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Look up.
Like I said, it's your theory. Like I said, it's your theory.
Look up
so
Lucia.
What's your theory then?
Listen. Look up Lucia, and then
you look it up, and you were supposed to present it to me.
It's a professor. I do know what he's talking about. A professor named Dane Calloway. Came out.
Yeah, PG Islands.
But wait, can I say something? Can I say something real?
Go ahead.
Okay, because again, family. You know, Alquan, that's my brother. It ain't personal. But this is why I say do not trust Abo's information. When they tell you something, make them prove it. I just want to point out to you, Alquan, that article, you posted the link in the back. Okay. And clearly you didn't read that article.
I didn't.
The article, see, there you have it. The article is not talking about transporting felons or convicts. It's talking about outside of Melbourne, Australia, they had boats, they had docked there, which they would put prisoners on for even further torture. Okay, so they would take some of the prisoners and they would house them on those ships. Those ships were docked. Those were not ships that were going from one place to another, from Britain to Australia.
Australia itself was the prison. That's where they exiled motherfuckers.
So they had
off and left them to fend for themselves. That's the white motherfuckers did.
Wait. Let me just
say. The whole island is built on criminality.
They had those ships there docked to put prisoners on those ships, okay? And let me tell you what happened, right? So, so most of they were called hulks. I think it was 3 ships. One called the Success, and I can't remember the 2 other names. But it was like 3 ships that were there. And so most of the hulks were broken up by 1885, okay? And it says, the Success, which was one of those ships that they put prisoners on that was docked there, was sailed away by dodgy entrepreneurs who made big money exhibiting her around the world, tricked up with tall tales about how she was the oldest ship afloat. She wasn't. How she had transported convicts to the colonies. She hadn't. And with breathless stories of the Kelly gang who were never aboard. So you actually had these charlatans who then took that boat and tried to take it around and say, hey, this is the oldest ship on the sea. And hey, this boat was used to take prisoners from Britain to Australia. False.
Okay,
false. So I'm sorry, but you were wrong.
Actually, I wasn't, because that's a different subject matter.
No, you're not. No, Alquan, just give it up. Give it up, brother.
Hold on. Listen, my point in showing that shit was to show something that was specifically designed to house people against their will. I don't give a damn.
No. Let me stop that. Let me stop that really quickly. For instance, you know, like at a lot of airports, they may have like a little jail or something. That's not set up to like be a prison, right? It would hold people until those people were moved somewhere else. Well, in the case of these hulks, they took some prisoners, and this was not people packed on there being shipped from one country to another. No, these were boats that were docked there in that bay. They did not go anywhere else. And there were prisoners they put on there for extra punishment, because when the seas and stuff were really bad, the water would come in on them. They would chain them up in those boats. But these were not boats used to transport passengers. These were not the same. These are
okay. So they wasted time building
not in any way comparable to a quote unquote slave ship. It's not.
But the whole point was
these were regular boats. No, these were regular boats. That they put some boats in, and they had docked in the bay, and they took certain prisoners and put them on there, and it was further torture and punishment to put them on there.
Torture and punishment. Let's roll.
Like so why? Like this was not built to house prisoners from one country to the next. That's not what it was.
That's not my claim. My claim is that it was built.
It was your claim.
No.
You said they built specific boats. No. Let's go back to what you said. You said they built specific boats to take the people.
No, I didn't say that. I never said that.
You said to take the people to. No, hold on. Yes, you did, Alquan. You said that no, because your comparison was to try to say, well, wait a minute, these slave ships, but where are the slave ships and this and that? But they had these boats for prisoners that they took to Australia. You said they took them to Australia. That's what you said.
No, I didn't. I said it was a specifically designed ship to house people against their will.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You said they took them to Australia. If they took them to Australia, where they take them from?
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did, Alquan.
No, I didn't. I know what I said. When I talk about this subject matter, I never say that when I talk about this.
Oh, God. Did y'all hear him?
No, they didn't.
You said they took them to Australia. That's what you said.
No, I said the ship was from Australia.
Yes, you did, bro.
No, I didn't.
Man.
No, I didn't.
Alquan, I wouldn't even went through this looking this stuff up.
But the point is,
if you didn't say, hold on, if you didn't say they had specific boats they built to take prisoners to Australia, that's what you said.
I said the whole people against their will.
And
that's what I said.
No,
I didn't. You can't play that game with me because I know what I said.
1850. Show me a boat from 1850. That's what you said.
No, I said the boat was from 1850. Listen.
No.
Wait. I said no. You're trying to. I'm trying to tell you what I said. I said
in 1850 they wasn't even shipping slaves.
But listen, that's not what I said. We're not going there. I said the picture of that boat is from 1850. That's what I said.
Okay, so then let me just ask you this then. Why would you bring up, okay, and let me just get this out. Why would you bring up a boat that was docked in a bay that they put certain prisoners on to have further torture? Why would you even bring that up in comparison to a slave ship that was taking people from one continent to another? Why would that even be brought up in that conversation? Nothing there is comparable. Nothing's comparable. That's like comparing, like I said, a jail in the bottom of a damn airport to a damn maximum security prison somewhere. Those are two different things.
Allow me to explain without interruption. The reason why I compared the two is because people say that slave ships were common cargo ships. And I want to show that people built ships specifically to house people against their will.
No.
You said they didn't, but that's what it is. And
they didn't. No, they didn't. They did not. No. Let's hold on.
Those ships were built to house people against their will.
They did not build. What? Okay, let's think about this. Right? It says makeshift. Didn't we just go over this a little while ago? There's a difference between something being built, right? Built is saying that basically from the ground up, right? The intentions behind this was to be a prison vessel. That's what this is, right? So it was built as a prison vessel. That is different than a ship becoming a makeshift prison vessel, if you will, holding a few prisoners at a time for further torture. That is not the same thing as a prison ship being built.
Okay, let's
roll with something that was a makeshift. That was makeshift.
All right, okay, let's roll with that. Let's stick with that. What you just said. That sounds good. Now, where's the makeshift slave ship at?
What we went on? Okay, I'm gonna say this one last time, right? The boats were cargo ships.
How come there weren't no?
Let me finish. The boats were cargo ships. In that time, the people were considered as cargo. So those boats would be used for different voyages, whether it was to bring materials or whether it was to bring people. So when you say again, where's the makeshift slave ships? That's what cargo ships were. Just like I read to you about the convict ships, how those were merchant ships. Those were the ships. Wait, hold on. They said those were regular merchant ships that they would use sometimes to bring people, they would use to bring products, whatever the case may be. They were not specifically built prison ships for Australia, for Europe, nor were they in terms of people being brought from Africa to South America and beyond. Okay, these were regular ships that they put people on. So why are we going back over the same things we've discussed?
Well, let me tell you why, Renee. Because as you saw, they had numbered cells, locked doors.
What?
I showed the pictures. They had
Why are you being so disingenuous right now? That is not comparable. That is not comparable to a slave ship.
You gotta hear my point.
Tons of people from one continent to the next.
Can you please listen so I can make my point?
On a bay. They did not move. They did not go to any other country. They were not there, and there were not tons of prisoners put on there. There were a few put on those ships, and those people were there for further torture. It is not the same thing.
Okay, I got that. Now, these were specifically designed to house people against their will, complete with cells. So you said that they were also used to transport cargo, but they were already converted to house people against their will permanently.
Yo, hey, check this out, right? You basically you saying that there wasn't no slave ships. Peace, family. Let me just get this out, right? So, are you familiar with? It's called a Creole. It is a man. This was one of the most successful slave uprisings in history. It's called a Creole, and it was led by a man named Madison Washington. Are you familiar with this story?
No.
Tell the story, Brent.
So again, the story is called a Creole, and what happened was Madison Washington, he bought his way out of slavery. But he couldn't buy his wife way out of slavery. So he went back to Virginia to get her, right? He ends up getting caught. When he get caught, they put him on a what? Slave ship, right? And the ship
was cargo ships.
Go ahead, let him finish.
When they put him on the ship, they overtake the ship just like the Amistad, and then they kill everybody on the boat except for the cook and the driver. What's the driver name on the ship? The captain. And they order the captain, "Hey Joe, make the best meal you ever made in your life, or you did, or whatever, right?" Then they order all of the women to come up, and then boom, there go Madison Washington. That's his wifey on the bottom of the boat, and it's called a Creole.
Okay, and what was the point about that?
we talking about slave ships in their existence.
But your cohorts just said that there's no such thing as slave ships. They're cargo ships.
Bro, stop playing.
I'm not playing. I'm going by what they said.
I mean, what I'm saying is, I feel like you playing with me. I think you're more intelligent than that.
Right, and that's why I'm trying to make my point.
For you to say that slave ships don't exist, and then I give you a whole narrative of a slave ship.
You're telling me stories. I want to see something.
What the fuck is wrong with this?
And that was the story of a ship that was already in America going from Virginia to where Virginia don't even got that much water. But
they left up out of South Carolina.
I mean, we could tell the stories about
Jamaica, South Carolina, or Virginia. Which one is it?
You said where was it going to? I said Jamaica, and I said it left out of South Carolina.
Yeah, but why would you go up to Virginia to go to Jamaica from South Carolina?
That's where the boat took off from, bro.
That don't even make sense. That's going north.
I mean,
back
like
south,
it don't have to.
Okay, this RBR. Okay,
anyway,
that's what happened, bro.
Yeah, let RBR.
I got some pseudoscience too. Right. All right. So how?
I'm listening, man. Hey, but like what I'm trying to get to is, let's be reasonable, bro.
That's pseudoscience, bro. You just said they went from South Carolina to Virginia to back to Jamaica.
What are you talking about? I'm starting to get frustrated. What are you talking about?
If you listen to what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you. Okay? You said that they had a slave ship from South Carolina going to Jamaica, right? Now, why would you go to Virginia?
All right,
It's
bro.
in the opposite direction.
Pause. Are you saying that I'm making this story up? It don't exist. This story.
I'm saying maybe your story is a little messed up and you ain't tell it right.
All right, bro.
Maybe that's what it is.
So it is right. It is right. One more time. The name of the man who led this uprising. His name is Madison Washington. You on a laptop or you on your phone?
Like George Washington? Like same last name?
Madison Washington, like George Washington. Yes.
Okay. Like George Washington Carver?
No, like Madison Washington. That's his fucking name.
How many wood ships can you find from that era that's still intact?
I mean, what?
I was asking Alquan, but you can answer if you want to. I was asking how many ships from that era can you find that's still intact?
None.
So why is everybody asking where the slave ships at? Like that's some kind of intelligent question to ask.
Because I showed a prison ship with pictures.
Alquan, please, because that's really frustrating me. Please stop doing that. Because are we joking? I know it's Pseudo Sunday and we make jokes and stuff like that, but it's a lot of it's so disingenuous in the conversation. We just went back and forth for a long time and showing how what you're saying is not at all comparable to what I'm talking about.
And you guys
it's not at all comparable. It's not at all comparable to ships used
I'm
to take
comparing it to
people from
anything. All I'm showing is that
please stop talking over me. From one continent to the next. It's not the same as a ship docked in a bay because the prisons were overflowing and they put some of the prisoners there, especially for extra torture. That is not the same thing as transporting people on slave ships across an entire ocean.
So as big as Australia is, they had to build some ships.
So please stop. It's not the same thing.
Well, listen, let me make it clear again.
To even further prove my point. When they immigrated, when they brought in people from Europe to go to Australia, the people that were felons, the people that were criminals, they did not have them shipped like that where they had prison cells and all of that stuff. No. It was a regular merchant ship. It was only after and then way later down the line, they had the ships there. The ship was out there because a lot of people, it was a gold rush going on in that time. So what happened was a lot of people got caught up with that. The prison started overflowing. So they repurposed that ship to hold some prisoners on it. So even when they brought in the felons from Europe, they didn't have them in no prison ship. They didn't have no cells and all of that kind of stuff. They were on a regular merchant ship.
Why don't they show the prisoners on the ship, on a regular merchant ship?
Right.
What? Wait, show them where? What are you talking about?
They show pictures of a slave ship that shows people packed like sardines on top of each other.
Yeah, that's a regular merchant ship.
Where's that
one?
That's a regular cargo ship, sir. That's what we're saying. These were not specific vessels built for that. They were cargo ships used for different types of cargo, including human cargo. That's what we're discussing.
I know what you're discussing, but I'm saying what indication on that ship shows that is designated for not only human cargo, but every other cargo that you can hold.
Well, let me answer that. The history details that. No,
the history says slave ship.
What? No. Well, when they say slave ship, they're meaning during that transport, they had people they were going to enslave, slave ships. It was used, that terminology was used when it was transporting people for slavery. Do you understand that? If they use the same ship, right? And they take this certain ship and they take people from Africa to here or whatnot, right? And those people are enslaved. And then they turn around and they use that boat for cargo, right? To ship whatever products or materials across the ocean. They're not going to say this is a slave ship right now with this other cargo on here. They're going to say the cargo ship is coming in. The merchant ship is coming in. It depends on what's on the ship at the time.
Well, these cargoes weigh different things. Some cargo is heavier than others. So you can't just say you could put any cargo on any boat because any boat can't hold any cargo.
Right.
So
oh my god. Oh my god.
You can't have a big
wait. You telling me a boat that's built to carry peanuts? Let's just say sacks of peanuts, about 50-pound sacks of peanuts by the boatloads. You telling me this shit can't carry humans? Is that what you're telling me? Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm telling you, humans weigh more than a bag of peanuts, my man. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to hold less humans than you with peanuts.
So instead of carrying 2,000 sacks of peanuts, we can get 200 motherfucking humans. What difference will it make?
Well, the difference is the weight, and the difference is keeping your cargo. It's different. Yo, listen. Different cargo requires different.
I just said 50-pound sacks of peanuts.
Your slaves is going to be dead by the time they get to the delivery.
2,000 peanuts take 200 humans, and you said the 200 humans going to weigh more than motherfucking 2,000 sacks of peanuts that weigh 50 pounds apiece.
That's like that thing. Which weighs more? Wait. That's like that thing. Which weighs more? What is it? 50 pounds of feathers, rocks. Like which one?
If you know about weight,
the same, right? But it's gonna be. You're gonna have way more feathers, right? Because feathers weigh a lot less than rocks typically do, right? So that's the point. Wait. If a ship can take so much tonnage, right? It can take so many tons on the ship, then that's going to denote how much of whatever it is going to be on the ship. So that means if it can carry this many tons in general, well, you maybe can get this many people on it, but you can get this much other cargo on it. Do you understand the concept of that?
Now, do you understand? Now, with that weight, now listen, your weight might be the same with different types of cargo. You might have more, you might have less, but the weight distribution also matters too. How you distribute the weight. Now, if you got a overweight vessel and you got mad people that you ain't supposed to have on this vessel because it's used to hauling bags of peanuts, but you got mad people on there now. Now you risk crashing. You risk messing up in the ocean. And all your whole load is done. All your slaves is dead. You ain't making no money.
Listen,
if the ship it's impossible.
You're going to. It's not impossible. Listen, this is ridiculous. Wait, hold on. Let me show you the ridiculousness of this argument. Right?
Lay down for a week.
Hey, can you let me talk? Can you let me talk? Please don't cut me off. Let me show you the ridiculousness of this argument. Right? White people that came here, right? We know white people are not indigenous to this land. So they got here somehow, right? They came over here on ships. A lot of those same ships were merchant ships. A lot of those same ships were used with cargo. But somehow we can conceptualize, right, that white people can come here on ships and still make it, and that there can be cargo and things like that that come from Europe here and so on and so forth. But we can't conceptualize that people from Africa could be able to come here on ships. Please,
in chains on top of each other. Not only did they come on ships, but they came in chains on top of each other, shitting and pissing and sitting down for. Ain't no way you could sit down for a week straight without having any kind of muscle problem.
What they did. They didn't
and body sores and all that. You won't be healthy by the time you get here.
You can stop right there because they didn't make them sit down for a week. You're wrong.
Well, so they showing in the
So if you already stand up for a week, whatever.
You can get that.
What you gonna stand up for a week?
What's the
they made them exercise every day. They made them exercise every day. That's what they did.
I'll get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Yo, they gave them health care too when they got off the ship. They gave them health care.
Wait, hold on. Do you not understand that a lot of these ships had insurance? Do you not understand that this was money, right? These people are money. Hold on. These people are money. That's the whole purpose. You trying to get them from there to here to build up your land for their free labor. So you are invested in trying to make sure enough of them make it. Some of them are gonna die, right? A certain percentage would die for any number of reasons, but you're gonna want to make sure that the majority of them are able to make it to this land so that you can enslave them. So that makes no sense.
Sorry. And also, it would have to be more slave guards, masters, than it would have to be slaves on that boat. Because if they exercising every day, they're gonna overrun this little one shot. This nigga got one shot in his gun. He got an old ass musket with one shot. That nigga it's like 200 niggas on here, dog.
So you think it was one? So wait. So let me get this straight. I need to understand y'all logic and how y'all think. So you think there was one white dude, the captain, and all these slaves?
All right, so let it be 10 white dudes. Let it be 10. It's 200 of us, and they got one shot.
Now, let me ask you a question. How many?
10 shots.
Out of those 10 white dudes, they all got guns.
They got 10 shots.
How many? No, they got more than one shot. They got a bunch of shots.
Yo, them guns back then can only shoot one bullet at a time, yo.
Take a while to reload.
Exactly, and then they reload and shoot another one. They also had cannons too.
It ain't automatic.
Cannons too.
Cannons facing
a riot.
away from.
They had a motherfucker. Wait. They had a motherfucker right up top with a motherfucking cannon just in case some shit popped off.
And they're gonna blow their own boat up and blow your own boat up. Like, come on, dude, you don't even make sense.
Really?
He knows it. That's why he didn't say nothing else.
Where's the slave ship with the cannon on top? Like, come on, man.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But let me ask you.
You
know what though? But sitting here, wait a minute, sitting here listening, right? I just say that the questions that you're asking can be easily answered. But even if we gave you the answer, you would question it. The thing is, you don't have any. All you really doing is trying to disprove what is already known.
Deniability, so they just gonna keep denying.
That's exact. Yo,
already known.
That's not disproving anything. I'm disproving.
What is known to be able to be proven.
All right, what?
Yeah, exactly. It can be proven that you can't kill 200 people with one bullet.
Y'all still ain't tell me how did black people get here. Ain't near one of you motherfuckers told me how black people got here. Y'all pseudo.
It's already here, yo. It's already here.
How did we get here? How did we get
here? We
was
already here, dog. People come from the ground. People come from the ground.
Okay, wait. So we came for the dirt?
Yeah, people come from dirt.
We came for the dirt. That's what
we found the humanoid remains in Ethiopia, right?
That's how we ended up being copper. We came from the dirt.
That's where we're going to end up, and that's where we come from.
That's where we end up, but that ain't where the fuck we came from. What the hell are you talking about? We came from the dirt.
In Africa, they got dirt. They got land in Africa. They got land in America.
That's crazy.
Explain how we came. We came for the dirt, Alquan. Alquan, we came for the dirt. You co-signing this, Alquan?
We came from the earth somehow.
We came for the dirt.
Came from the earth somehow.
So you co-signing this?
Hey, did we come from outer space?
Yes or no? Are you co-signing this?
We came from under the water. There's dirt under the water.
Wait, I'm asking Alquan. Alquan, you co-signing?
Yeah, we came from somewhere on this planet, man. So whether it's dirt, dirt, water.
We just grew out the dirt. We just grew out of.
Where in Africa did we come from, nigga? Africa town?
Baseball fields.
What country in Africa, motherfucker?
Field of Dreams. It was Field of Dreams. Growing from baseball fields.
Hey, yo, real quick. I got some other
Who are the first people that grew from the dirt?
I gotta go, man. Hey, listen, I gotta.
You gotta stay, man. You made the presentation.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I want these
He believe in the white man and power.
Okay, brother Rob.
Yeah, tomorrow the first.
We love white people.
And this ain't going nowhere, man.
Yeah, I ain't let my foot off these buttons.
What if you do, brother Rob? Don't present this to school.
Well, you have to prove to me how we plant. How we photogenesis.
I didn't say plants.
How we grew from the fucking dirt. That's what I need you motherfuckers to do.
Hold on. Okay. But thank you, brother Rob, for the presentation. It was on point. You know, you're welcome anytime, and have a good first day of school.
All right, thank you so much, man. I hate that I gotta leave. My head hurting though.
I feel you saying my head is hurt. My head is
A lot
hurt.
of this dirt stuff. I want to know what's going on with this dirt. How are we plants, bro?
I didn't say we plant. I just said people come from the earth. Come from the land.
I asked
how you
from the dirt. The land is dirt. Land is dirt.
We all over the we all over the place. We
come from land, bro.
We all over the place, and I can tell you how we got to point A, point B. Now you tell me. You say
so there was nobody in America.
Wait. Both
there
of
was
y'all saying,
no black people in America.
You can't answer my question if you're not listening. Now. Both of y'all are saying that my way is bullshit, right?
Which way was that?
Black people got all over
which way is that?
Neither one of y'all listening. Y'all too busy talking.
No, we actually
let me finish saying what I'm saying.
I still been trying to ask the question.
Then y'all get a tip to answer, which I know y'all not, but y'all get a tip to. But again, I can explain how black people got all over this globe and everything else, but y'all gonna say, my way is bullshit. So now, you tell me what your way is, because I keep telling you, explain how black people got all over this globe, and let's start with here. How did we get here?
Because we was here from the beginning of time, motherfucker. What the fuck else you want me to say, dog?
We was here.
Bro.
When the time God got here. When the God got here.
If you want to take it if you want to go biblical approach. If you want to go from the biblical explanation of how the 12 tribes of Benjamin and all this, the progenerate of the dark races came around, you want to go into all that pseudo shit too. I mean, you can do that, but
you the ones that said
I'm trying to tell you.
At the beginning of time, then you said we came from dirt. So that means dirt predates time. That means you telling me dirt predates time because you said we was here from the beginning of time. You said we was here from the beginning of time, but yet you said we came from the dirt. So that means the dirt was here first. That means, and we came from the dirt. So that means the dirt must predate time. That's what you're saying right now, ain't it?
All right, so that means the dirt was here since the beginning of time.
No, that means the dirt was here
that we was here since the beginning of time.
No.
So either way,
now you're switching up. Now
this is a game of semantics.
Either way, time started after the dirt, or time started whenever man started recording time or paying attention to how progression of life goes.
Time. Wait. Now you really fuck it up. See, this is why I mean y'all think y'all deep, y'all really not. Because time was here before motherfucking man created it. What do you mean?
How? How do you know that?
Time didn't start till a motherfucker created a clock. Time been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Time been here.
How do you know that? What evidence do you have that time is here before clock?
Because things age. That's why people was getting old and dying before motherfuckers understood the concept of time. What do you mean?
But how do you know that didn't start happening until we started realizing the progression of events? Of how do you know?
Wait. No, because you just contradict yourself. Until we didn't understand the progression. So wouldn't the progression be age? Wouldn't that be time?
Listen.
No, explain that. Because you said maybe until we didn't start realizing the progression. So wouldn't progression be time? Wouldn't progression be age?
Yeah, but what if in the beginning? All right, let me finish. If in the beginning, what if God or the creator, whoever, whatever, thought up people that was old people, was baby, was young people, was everybody was created at the same time. Black people, white people, old people, young people, everybody created at the same time. All different stages of time, all different stages of life. Now start time. Now where does time start? It starts in all different places because you don't know. Because there's old people, there's young people, there's babies.
What if there's purple aliens? Like that doesn't. I mean, you talking about what if the creator or God did that? What if anything? You could say what if about anything.
That means you freestyling.
That's not proof of anything.
As you go.
That's not.
What if and what if? No,
all right, here. I got a difference too, though. Like, cause y'all. Here's the difference. I'm telling you
things I know. You're telling me.
What do you know? All right, tell me what you know. Then where we come from, Mister? Where we come from? Africa.
You already know where I know we came from.
Where Africa we come from?
I'm saying now. I'm challenging you on your shit. And I'm saying your shit is bullshit.
No, you said that my shit is wrong. You said my shit is wrong, and I can just come up with everything.
You can't back up none of your claims scholarly. You can't back up none of your claims with science. All you can do is just tell me what if.
I can't back it up with science. I just backed it up with science.
Your claims, all you telling me is what if.
I just backed it up with science. I just backed it up with science.
That's a question comes from not knowing. If you're asking me a question, that means you don't know. So that means you don't know.
I just backed it up with science. And
what? You ain't backing up no science? What science?
Science to say science. Listen. Now, if a hypothesis, I made a hypothesis, okay? An educated guess on now where if everybody was made at different stages of life at the same time, then you would have no way of knowing where to begin it or where to end or how to judge where things started at, because everybody started at, there's old people, there's babies.
Nobody know who their parents is.
Nobody know in the beginning.
Nobody know who their grandparents is. Really?
Who the heck is God's parents?
Good question. The question I always
exactly,
ask
dude. It don't even make sense.
Question. Damned if I know. I'm 18. Don't ask me that shit.
It's a loophole. It's a loophole.
Oh, God's mama and daddy. So what?
That's a good question, though. I asked the same question. That's a good question.
Okay. Who preceded? Right.
Here's another pseudo.
What God made God? How was God made?
Yeah,
right. How was the earth made? How was life?
No, how was God made? Because the people, we got to start there, right? Because the people say that God made the earth and the heaven.
God was made from the Bible.
He made all of this stuff, the universe. And who made God? How was God created? How was God created?
That's a
in the minds of man.
In the minds of man. But no, let me not say the creator, because you referenced a creator or God. So who created the creator?
The mind of man.
Okay, but I thought you believe in a creator or a God.
I just told you man.
What? So then how do you believe in a creator or God if man made the creator? When you just believe in man?
Man is God.
Oh man. Y'all.
Renee, real quick.
And listen, hold on.
Real quick. I've been dying.
You can talk.
Man and woman is God.
I'm not gonna be up here that much long. I'm gonna just say that because people gonna start doing crazy stuff and I'm time for it.
I got one real quick. It's about all right, so I want to know how this underground railroad shit go on. If how the hell you supposed to walk all the way about 700 miles all the way to fucking Pennsylvania from like Virginia, and like come on, man, and with the safe houses and all that, how the hell you gonna have a safe house with nobody?
Stuff like that all the time. People do cross country shit like that.
Maybe they got a Greyhound.
This shit happens.
How you gonna have a safe house that people know about from different states? Because before telephones, before any kind of way of communication, letting you know that you can come here.
Same way all news traveled back then, through word of mouth. That's how all news traveled.
All right, now the word of mouth is the first way to get your ass caught. They get first word. No niggas is ratting like a motherfucker.
Right. That's why a whole bunch of people didn't know. That's why it wasn't a whole bunch of people that knew. That's why it wasn't no big ass motherfucking talk around motherfucking cooler and shit. It was hitting. That's why they had to stay secret.
What you mean? If I say I'm a slave, I'm like, yo, how I want to get free? I want to get free. What I gotta do? Now there's somebody gonna say, oh well, you gotta walk up there. All right,
being so fucking stupid. That's why.
Now I go up there. Huh?
Renee, real quick.
So fucking stupid.
How's this gonna work? How is that gonna work?
Let me just ask this real quick, Renee. What is a oil tanker built to transport, and what is an aircraft carrier built to transport?
They're built specifically to transport oil or aircrafts.
Right. Specialized cargo. Right?
But they can easily be modified.
Yeah, those are specific, right? And those, like the transport of those specific things, like that's like a more like that's something very detailed, right? Like to be able to, the weight of like aircraft, that's gonna be different than like maybe some other type of cargo or oil. Like you got to transport that certain way.
But you got to understand. My point is they built ships specifically to transport specific things.
I never
Now,
said that. I never
like
said
they built standard cargo ships back
they
then.
didn't have no damn aircraft. So they had aircraft carriers during
They
slavery.
wasn't working with steel and none of that. They had no.
That's like saying
Hey, why didn't they just have planes bring the slaves over? Because they had aircraft carriers during slavery, right?
in a pickup truck?
On the train.
They had cruise ships. They had cruise ships 2,000 years ago.
What?
What? What are you talking about?
Caligula. Romans had cruise ships.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What they look like? What they look like?
They look opulent. That's
show me the picture, because remember you said you don't believe nothing. Show me the picture.
Okay, hold on.
Don't show me no drawing. Don't show me no drawing. You show me the picture. You show me the picture.
You believe him? You believe that?
And which is funny because
2,000 years ago, you believe he God, don't you? You think that
right? And you know what's funny?
You think that motherfucker's going around cruising and shit on his honeymoon 2,000 years ago? Look, you believe that white man when he told you that shit, didn't you?
Okay.
I don't believe that shit.
And you know what's funny?
You believe that white man too? You believe that white man was going on cruises 2,000 years ago? You believe that white man?
I believe so.
And you know what's funny too?
You think he's telling the truth now, don't you? When that motherfucker said he was back there chilling 2,000 years ago, sipping lattes on a motherfucker doing a cruise and on his honeymoon around Italy and shit, you motherfuckers believe that shit, don't you?
I think Abu Bakari had a cruise. You don't even know who Abu Bakari is.
Well, check it out. Seeing is believing. That's what it's all about.
Hey, let me say this too. You know what's interesting too, in terms of even the whole slave ship conversation, is that I think it was actually closer to the early 1800s when it was supposedly abolished, right? The transportation of people from Africa for slavery, right? But
so they was on that camera, across the
can I finish talking first, please? But the invention of the camera the world's first photograph was in 1826, right? So like you were trying to make some comparison between that ship that was used. Also, I want to point out to you that ship was used in the early 1900s to go and tell tall tales of what supposedly happened on those prison ships. So I do want you to know that they took that stuff and they built it like that. That's why they said those people were basically scam artists, and they tried to tell these lies about their ships, saying they transported people from Britain to Australia as prisoners. None of that happened. They took the ship and they did it, and they went around trying to sell that prison story to people. So I just want to point out those pictures that you have are from that time. Those are not pictures from back in the 1800s when whatever else was going on. Hold on. And then so let's be clear on that. So what you said on that ain't even true.
Actually, it is.
That's when they was out here hustling that boat, trying to make money and saying, "Hey, this was a prison ship, and all these crazy things happened, and all this stuff, and they took people, and all of that stuff was a lie." The same article. Listen, if you're gonna try to use that article to prove your point, then you got to be willing to accept all that. Wait a minute, hold on. You got to be willing to accept all that article proves, and that article contradicts everything you said. It contradicts everything.
No, it doesn't.
Because yes, it does.
All I'm showing.
In the same article, it tells you what they did with that shit. They tried to make it as some kind of museum, and they was telling lies about the shit.
I got all that. All I'm doing is showing the time period. Listen, the time period and the fact that you can find pictures to prove that they had ships.
Those pictures were far later. This is after wait a minute. This was far after the importation of slaves became illegal. This was far after that. This was far after and by 1826, it was illegal to bring people across the ocean for slavery. So, and that's when the first photograph was made. So that wasn't even. Let's be clear. That wasn't even applicable for the average person. It ain't like you could go in the store and just buy a camera. right?
Okay,
so we're talking about the first photograph was in 1826.
Renee.
So you couldn't have had those type of pictures of no slave ships anyway.
Yes, you could have, Renee.
No, you couldn't. How?
Was that Australian ship? Was it built or not?
Was it? What do you mean? Was it built?
Did it exist or not?
It was a merchant ship that they had a makeshift. Again, see, this is the problem, Alquan. Wait, don't cut me off. This is the problem. If you're going to use a source, use the whole source.
You're trying to
rearrange the source. No. I'm telling you what your article you gave as proof said.
I didn't.
So you told me you didn't even read the article, Alquan. I'm telling you about the article you gave me that I read and disproves everything you said. It was a makeshift. It was a merchant ship.
It's about the fact
that was docked in a bay. It did not move. It did not go anywhere else.
Let's move on.
It was docked in a bay, and it was a makeshift. Prison because the prisons were overflowing at that time, and it was like a special torture that went on those ships. Now far later down the line, when they had done away with that, some entrepreneurs, some investors came and they took the ship. They made it look a certain way. They started peddling it around, telling tall tales of things that supposedly happened on this ship. And those things were false. The article says all of that was false.
Okay, we got that.
So just give it up.
No, we'll let it push it to the side because you're going to overdo me.
Just give it up.
But let's talk about this one.
Yo, listen.
This is 2,000 years old. Caligula's cruise.
Where's the picture? Where the picture?
You see? I don't know if you took it off the screen or not.
No, I want the picture, a photograph.
Right here.
I don't want a drawing. I want a photograph.
This is the photograph. Can't you see this is the photograph?
Let me see. They got a photograph from 2,000 years ago?
Come on, you know it's not from 2,000 years ago. The ship is from
That's a photograph. Wait.
We asked for something about 2,000 years ago with the cruise ship.
Hold on, this is it right here.
That's the cruise ship from what? From 2,000 years ago?
Yeah.
The fuck out of here.
Like the slave ship.
What's the name of it? What's the name of it?
Hold up. Unlike the Clotilda, you can at least.
No, what's the name of it?
This week we got to stop that strategy of trying to overtalk people so we can't make a point.
What's the name of the ship? You can go ahead and go on your little soliloquy. What's the name of the ship?
Hold up. Before we get to that.
You can't tell me the name of the ship. Why you start talking?
Before we get to that. You see that this is a ship, right?
I know. I
okay, where?
I don't even know the name of the ship.
You don't need to know the name to see that it's a ship.
What is it?
It's one of Caligula's cruise ships.
Caligula's cruise.
Caligula. Okay, let me research that. I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna research it. Hold on.
You have to ask him what does he mean by cruise ship. Define it. Was it
like a carnival cruise ship? Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Viking?
The party ship.
So they paid people to cruise to go to Africa.
Man, come on, man. Come on, what are you talking about, man?
Paid to go on the cruise because people
paid.
This is
around the Caligula's giant ship. You talking about Caligula's giant ship? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
cruise ships are free.
All right. So what my point is,
I can read some information. I can read some information about it.
I'm looking into it right now.
So they if you look it up, it says. Hold on. Let me.
Before you talk. I don't care what you read. It's what you see. That's all I want to know. That's the purpose of showing pictures.
Not what I see.
Okay.
Show you that it exists. I'm
gonna get to all of that. I'm gonna get to all of that.
It was Noah's Ark.
The Nemi ships were two ships,
Noah's Ark.
one larger than the
ship.
Okay.
You got a picture of Noah's Ark up there, back there?
That doesn't exist. That's why you can't see it.
I want to know how the slave was able to say, "Yo, I'm ready to escape through the Underground Railroad," and you just got to tell me where.
Only 300 people were saved through the Underground Railroad.
It don't say nothing about this being a cruise ship, by the way.
Man, it say like 100. It say Harriet Tubman saved 100,000.
It does look it up.
Do the crash course in Roman history in 2 seconds. Okay, I mean, come on.
I want to know. I want to know how the Underground Railroad, how the slaves used the Underground Railroad by word of mouth.
There was only 300 slaves that were saved during the Underground Railroad. They all went to Canada and got bred out of existence. They all looked like
What do you mean? How did they use it by word of mouth? By word of
That shit
mouth.
was
I mean,
illegal.
and let's be clear, word of mouth.